everyone, it's Anna Montemurno. Thank you for stopping by and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about what is the ketogenic diet? What is ketosis? What is keto? Well, I've had a subscriber ask me some questions about that. And she said to me, it seems as though, and thank you Rebecca F. for asking the question. She said to me, it seems as though you're assuming that we all know what keto is. And actually, I think that is a true point. So in this video, what is keto? As short as I can in the answer, because it's a lot of information. There's a lot to it, from what happens in the human body, what does the word ketosis mean, what is ketone. So basically, keto is actually a word that comes from the word ketosis. And basically, in the human body, we have two systems that we can run our body on in terms of its fuel source for energy. We either use carbohydrates, which turn into glucose, available energy, and that is called glycolysis. And then we have the other energy system, which is less common, which is called ketosis, in which we use ketones, which is actually derived from fat and turns into ketones, which we use for energy as well. So there's two pathways of energy or fuel sources that we could use, and that's called ketosis. And so the way to get into ketosis, that's where the word keto comes from, or keto diet. It comes from ketosis, which is the process of burning fat for fuel in the human body. What I would suggest, if you're interested in keto, there's a lot of health benefits from going on keto. And, I know that it's very difficult to fathom and understand because we're so conditioned to eat carbohydrates that the last thing we want to consider is not having carbohydrates. And a lot of misconception happens when people think that because we're deprived of carbohydrates, we're severely deprived of food. And that isn't the case at all. When you do keto, it's actually, in my opinion, in my experience of it, it's trading off. It's like a trade-off where I say, I'll give you this and you give me that. I give up the carbohydrates, which I did initially, was really tricky. And it was like a mental preparation. Like I had to kind of like talk myself into it every day. Like, okay, today I'm giving up X, whether it was oatmeal or potatoes or apples or whatever it was. And then I gradually got adjusted to it, and I moved into the idea of, like, the first few days was really tricky, but it was kind of like, I don't know about anybody else, but I used to smoke cigarettes, and when I quit smoking cigarettes, I titrated myself off of them from, let's say, 10 cigarettes to 8 cigarettes to 5 cigarettes to 3 cigarettes to 1. And then finally none. And basically that's how I actually did it. Initially with going on keto, I mentally prepared myself. I think that there's a lot to be said for that in going on keto, is that the mental preparation is a very key point. And I can't stress it enough if you look back at the other videos I have. By the way, my videos are actually numbered. After the title, there'll be a number, and that number is a sequence of the videos in the order that they, by the date that they were produced. I'll tell you something. it's really tricky being up here and advocating on behalf of keto. Like, I'm doing this because I feel so strongly about it and passionate about it. And as I said in my previous video, the one that talks about my eating disorder, which I talk about that, this food plan has actually pretty much saved my life in a lot of ways. Like, I don't have food cravings. I eat to satiation. I feel a lot better. I look a lot better. My mental focus is better. I'm really healthy. So, you know, giving up the carbohydrates is it is really difficult in the beginning, I will tell you that. And there is such a thing as the keto flu. And what that is, really simply, is the fact that when you reduce your carbohydrate intake to such a low amount, which is less than 20 grams initially, your body flushes out the carbohydrates that it had. And in doing that, there's a lot of water that's lost and also a lot of electrolytes. And we need electrolytes for our bodies to function. So the way to help your body when you go through the process of getting into ketosis initially is that you should eat healthy cruciferous vegetables, green leafy vegetables that have lots of vitamins and minerals in them, so that have electrolytes put back in to your body. So, and also taking a half a teaspoon of pink salt every day is a good idea. And also making sure you're eating well, like you're eating healthy. We're not conditioned to eat high fat. I mean, keto is a high fat diet. And the reason behind it is that we're eating fat because the body's running on fat. And so the idea is that the fat that you take in from being on keto is utilized immediately for energy that you need to maintain homeostasis, or in other words, to balance out what you would use for energy. It's like putting fuel in your car and then driving 300 miles. Let's say you get 300 miles off of a tank of gas. You get to your destination, it was 300 miles, and the fuel is gone. It's the same thing in the human body. We take in this fat and we utilize it for our day. So the idea is that after you deplete the fat that you've taken in, your body will go into its fat stores. And so then you'll use that for energy. And that's where a lot of people lose weight and lose fat. But there's a lot to it, as I said. But thank you, Rebecca F., for asking the question, what is keto? What is ketosis? And again, ketosis is the process of the body utilizing fat for energy in the form of ketones. If you have questions and you are curious about keto and you want to know more, please ask questions. Please, I welcome it. And also, because I'll tell you what, I think it would be easier to get the former president and the current president together for a tea date than it would be to convince people that this is a good idea. Because it's so controversial and there's so much resistance, and I realize it, but the reason I'm sitting here before you talking about it is because of my own experience. It's not that's the reason, and I just want to share that with people to help. As I said in other videos, this country's in a lot of danger in terms of our health. 4 out of 10 of us are obese. And it's not like we're 5 or 10 pounds overweight. Obese is obese. That means we're significantly overweight. And it's scary because I have a history of obesity personally in my life and in my family members' life. So that's why I'm sitting here before you, because I feel very passionate about bringing the information forth and helping other people learn and educate. So listen, I'll put some links in the description down below if anybody has a problem with eating or food or overeating. I'll put some links down in the description for Overeaters Anonymous. And also, dietdoctor.com is another really good resource, and they have a free membership that you don't even have to pay for. And that's actually how I started learning about keto. I started looking at that website, and I would tell you, honestly, it's the best website regarding low carb and keto out there. And they don't ask for a membership. If you want, they do have a more involved membership, which gives you food plans and gives you like special recipes and more in-depth access to different things. But you don't have to pay. You don't have to join. You can get the basic membership, which is what I have. And on that website, you can educate yourself with very good data. That's important to have data that's backed up with verified research. So I would really strongly encourage you to look into this. But basically, if you were interested in doing keto, you can go on dietdoctor.com, and they have meal plans. I think it's $10 a month if you wanted to get into it. And they have really, I'm talking about grand slam recipes on that website. And so I don't work for them. I'm just telling you, again, based on my own experience. And I'm sitting up here because I'm advocating for health and wellness. And I know it's kind of crazy to believe that. I'm asking you to believe something, but you really need to verify it for yourself. And so it's really interesting, but I would never have imagined that this would be the way I would maintain my health and my weight, by eating a high-fat diet. It's like preposterous to imagine it. I hope that this video has provided some use and some value to you. If it has, please hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. I welcome comments, and thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks so much. Over and out. Ciao for now, and I'll see you in the next video.